Day 117, Founders Part 2. Founders Part 1, which I think was day 107, I kind of talked about founders, CEOs that were more or less related to my industry or my industries that I've been in my life. In this video, I want to talk about three founders that actually inspired me and were put on my radar for a completely different reason. And I've always sought the experiences of people of color, and particularly women of color. I think that navigating the world, especially the business world, as a woman must be incredibly difficult to do. And it's one of those things where, geez, if you're too attractive, then that's bad, but you can't be too ugly either, because then that's bad. So I've always, especially since I come from a family of entrepreneurs and I know what my grandparents had to overcome and deal with for me to have the life that I now have, that I've always been very, very, again, impressed, intrigued by stories of my minority business owners. And so the first one I want to talk about, I know it's a brand you've all heard of, Carol's Daughter, and the founder's name is Lisa Price. So it is it's very well known, at least I know and understand from my friend group and from my circle that Black hair products are in very huge demand. There are nowhere near enough of them on the market. And honestly, I know that, makeup for darker skinned people, for more melanated folks, all of that is just a niche that is hugely, hugely underserved in the market right now. So Carol's Daughter is one of those brands that is very well known because it's a very good brand, high quality brand, specifically for thicker hair textures, right? So something about Carol's Daughter that a lot of people talk about, a lot of people are upset about, is that she sold her business to L'Oreal. She got, buyout exit strategy. And she got a lot of slack for that because a lot of people are talking about, wow, so now, here's Carol's Daughter, a Black-owned, Black-started, Black-founded hair brand, and now it's not even Black-owned anymore because they were purchased by L'Oreal. And I remember hearing Lisa in an interview talking about this in a podcast, and she spoke about it quite differently. Well, first off, to be acquired by a larger company, I don't know if y'all understand how much you have to have your books in a row, how much you have to have your ducks in a row, how well you have to have run your business to be acquired by to be acquired. They do not purchase businesses that are not successful or not going places. So first off, but she said that it was very disappointing and that she felt that she was very upfront about the fact that that was the goal and that was in fact what she was going for. Everything from what she was offered to the actual company that offered to buy her was very much all according to plan. And she said that she felt that not enough people knew her story to know that that's actually something to celebrate. That's something actually really awesome to have your business sold and bought. And also, all these people complaining and moaning, it's not like they were stepping up to run her business, or it's not like they could. It's her business. So that's something that really spoke to me. And here you've created this huge generational wealth for your family. Bravo. You deserve nothing but a huge pat on the back and a chapter in freaking business school curriculum. Are you kidding me? Second story I want to talk about, or second founder I want to mention, is Jen Rubio from a luggage company called Away. I'll be honest, I'm still not at the place where I'm going to drop $400 or $500 on a suitcase. couldn't be me, at least not at this point in my life. And I do travel a fair amount, so it's like I've looked, but I'm personally not there yet. But something that really spoke to me about her story was moving here from the Philippines as a teenager. And sure, it helped that her parents both were well, it's not like she didn't start from the bottom. I didn't say that. Parents both were wealthy, both college educated. Definitely not the first person in her family to go to college. But I forgot what company she worked for, like before she was even 30. And again, it is worth mentioning that these are opportunities that are afforded to you when you're not the first person in your family to go to college, when you have parents that, came from some kind of means. But I also saw my mom navigating corporate America, and little things like having an accent. It didn't matter how smart she was, So again, putting some of my experience, my lived experience, and then picturing in my head what Jen Rubio had to kind of navigate and what she was able to do, even despite how privileged she was and how young she was. Plenty of rich people that don't do anything with their lives, and it's okay because they're rich. So last but certainly not least, I think this is a favorite for a lot of people, but I love Barbara on Shark Tank. Barbara Corcoran of the Corcoran Group. And I'm just gonna say it very quickly and briefly because there's not much to say, but the number one thing I love about Barbara is she's very upfront and brutally honest about the fact that she does not invest in rich people. There's no point to. It's a waste of money. Go look it up. She says, she'll say it much better than I do, but this is Founders Part 2. 3 women founders that I think are awesome and have inspired me, and I think would inspire you too.